So Ben, 2006 as a 20-year-old scrum half by the name of Ben Foden on the touchline of the Hong Kong Sevens as England win the tournament for the fourth time in 5 years. What are your memories of that final?
Of the final, I remember thinking that we were actually going to lose because we were chasing the game all the way through, and we played so well in the competition, and the likes of Tom Varndell and Tatey and Ben Gollings were playing so well, and it seemed a bit of a shame that we'd done all the hard work, got to the final, and then we're letting it slip. And then obviously the Fijians had the ball and they were going down the left-hand side, and literally they made like a semi-break and the clock could run out, so all they needed to do was kick the ball out. And we made the tackle before he kicked it and just turned over the ball. And then a few phases later, I think Henry Paul broke through the middle, got tackled just outside the 22, and then BG stepped up to slip through the gap and score underneath the post.
And just talking about the crowds, we were talking to Chris Cracknell-Lowley, and he said that playing in front of that crowd in Hong Kong is probably the closest he's ever come to kind of a full house in Twickenham. What's it like with the stands so tight and that crazy south stand?
When you run out to do your warm-up, it's quite surreal really, because obviously there's a game going on and you only warm up just behind the dead ball area, and you're pretty close to the crowd, so it depends which way you run on, whether you get the English guys who are all loving you and praising you, or whether you run the other side and you've got all the other people who are wishing the worst for you and throwing beer at you and calling you all sorts of names, and then you spot a guy out the corner of your eye dressed like a gigantic baby or someone in a Teletubbies costumes, and you sort of giggle to yourself, and you're trying to get ready for this massive game, and all these things are going on, and especially in that south stand where everyone sort of, they get there at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're drinking right to the end. Fair play to them. It is a real hostile environment, but it's a great place to play. He's got a massive following for England rugby in Hong Kong, so that's always nice. And so when you get out there and you can really hear them roar, and it's a real nice feeling.
And anyone who follows Ben_Foden on Twitter will know that you're a bit of a fan of fancy dress yourself.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, well, it wasn't really that. It was just a bit of good fun, I stuck on a bit of a cow costume. I think it went in the papers as Ben being amusing or something like that. But it's always good fun. Yeah, I'm always one for a bit of fancy dress, a bit of pub golf.
And have you been along to any sort of many sevens tournaments as a fan?
Yeah, a few local ones. Obviously, I used to put a team in. They're called the Mighty Minnows, and used to enter them in a few local competitions down at Bournemouth and in Coldie and Manchester Sevens. So I get out and about and try and coach them or watch them, support them play if I can. Sometimes it's not the case, but it's always good to get around and support. I love watching a game of sevens, and I always think I love playing it until I get out there and 2 minutes is gone and I've got a stitch, and I'm thinking, why the hell have I signed up to do this again? But it's always a brilliant atmosphere and a brilliant game to be playing. The culture that surrounds it is fantastic as well. Like you mentioned, all the fancy dress and sort of stuff that follows, and it's a real good day out for kids and grown-ups and everybody really.